The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone and welcome to the BSG webinar on Directors' Responsibilities. Just a little bit about who we are. The Building Safety Group is the largest construction safety group within the UK, and we operate throughout mainland UK. We're a not-for-profit organisation owned by our members for the benefit of our members. We're recognised by the HSE and we work very closely with the HSE. We have over 800 member companies located throughout the UK, and we carry out over 18,000 site inspections every year. We look after 23,000 operatives, 3,700 workplaces apart from construction sites, and over 10,000 people attend our training courses every year. Our accreditations include Investors in People, ISO 9001, ISO 14001 and 18001. We're a member of the Chartered Building Consultancy, also a member of the Association for Project Safety, the Royal Society for the Prevention of Accidents, and we carry the CITB accreditation to carry out construction skills training, including the SMSTS and the Triple STS qualifications, and we're also accredited by NEBOSH to carry out the National Construction Certificate training. And me, I'm Chris Chapman. I've got over 40 years experience within the construction industry. I'm a lot older than I look. I started off as an electrician and moved on to site foreman, site manager and project manager, and then moved over into full-time health and safety manager over 24 years ago. I carry the usuals, the NEBOSH General Certificate, the NEBOSH Construction Certificate, and the NVQ Level 5 Diploma in Occupational Health and Safety Practice. So that's just a little bit about us and me and what we're here for. So now we'll go into the director's responsibilities, and as always with these kind of things, we need to start with what the law says. So health and safety law states that employers must assess the risk to employees, customers, partners, and anyone else who could be affected by their activities, and they must arrange for the effective planning, organisation, control, monitoring, and review of preventative and protective measures. And protecting the health and safety of employees, all members of the public who may be affected by your activities, is an essential part of risk management and must be led from the top. Under the Corporate Manslaughter and Corporate Homicide Act of 2007, an offence will be committed where failings by an organisation's senior management are a substantial element in any gross breach of the duty of care owed by the organisation's employees or members of the public, which results in death. And the maximum penalty is an unlimited fine, and the court can additionally make a publicity order requiring an organisation to publish details of its convictions and fine. And if a health and safety offence is committed with the consent or connivance of, or is attributable to, any neglect on the part of any director, manager, secretary, or any other similar officer of the organisation, then that person, as well as the organisation, can be prosecuted under Section 37 of the Health and Safety at Work Act 1974. And what Section 37 says is offences by the bodies corporate. And where an offence under any relevant statutory provision committed by a body corporate is proved to have been committed with the consent or connivance of, or to have been attributable to any neglect on the part of any director, manager, secretary, or other similar officer of the body corporate, or a person who was purporting to act in such a capacity, he, as well as the body corporate, shall be guilty of that offence and shall be liable to be proceeded against and punished accordingly. So individual directors are also potentially liable for other related offences, such as the common law offence of gross negligence manslaughter. And under the common law, gross negligence manslaughter is proved when an individual officer of a company, directors or business owners, cause the death by their own grossly negligent behaviour. And this offence is punishable by an unlimited fine and a maximum of life imprisonment. And just a case study recently in the news, thought worth mentioning. A construction firm owner was sentenced to a 6-year prison term for the gross negligence manslaughter after a worker was killed and another was seriously injured at a demolition site, and the director of a second company was also jailed for 8 months. On the morning of January 21st, 2014, a 47-year-old employee of the subcontracted company fell through a skylight on a roof they were stripping onto the concrete floor 9 meters below. He sustained fractures to his spine, pelvis, right leg, heel and wrist. And at about 4 p.m. on the same day, a 42-year-old worker from the same company fell through a skylight and sustained fatal head injuries. The day before the accident occurred, the 42-year-old had had a near miss when he stepped through one of the skylights, but managed to stop himself falling. So it's quite easy to see where the gross negligence was there. The company that employed both workers was found guilty of offences under Section 2 of the Health and Safety at Work Act, breaching Regulations 4 and 7 of the Working at Height Regulations, which require employers to properly plan and supervise work at height and ensure that it is carried out in a safe manner. The company's owner was jailed for 6 years, fined £400,000 and ordered to pay £55,000 court costs. And the company originally awarded the contract and had subcontracted the roof strip was found guilty of offences under Section 2 of the Health and Safety at Work Act and for breaching both the CDM and Working at Height regulations. And the company director was jailed for 8 months, fined £90,000 and ordered to pay £45,000 court costs. So I think from that case study you can see how seriously the courts take these issues. So what are the essential principles underlying the director's responsibilities? Well, what we need is strong and active leadership from the top, a visible active commitment from the board of directors, establishing effective downward communication systems and management structures, and integration of good health and safety management within business decisions. Worker involvement, engaging the workforce in the promotion and achievement of safe and healthy conditions, and effective upward communication, providing high quality training as well. It's a known fact now that the more we engage with our workforce, the better quality we get on sites, and accidents are noticeably reduced where we have good consultation. And remember, CDM now requires principal contractors to put in an official formal procedure for consultation. So the other things we need to look at, assessment and review. We need to identify and manage the health and safety risks, accessing and following any competent advice, hopefully that you get from us, any monitoring or reporting and reviewing of performance, which is another service that BSG provide. And addressing health and safety should not be seen as a regulatory burden. It offers significant opportunities to the company, and the benefits can include reduced costs and reduced risks, reduced employee absence and turnover rates are lower, accidents are fewer, the threat of legal action is lessened, increased productivity, employees are happier, healthier and better motivated. And this isn't pie in the sky thinking. It's been proven beyond a doubt. So we need to be looking at the costs of poor health and safety at work. And first off, the first cost obviously is financial cost. And millions of working days are lost due to work-related illness and injury, and thousands of people die from occupational diseases every year. Over 98% of the deaths attributed to work are through ill health rather than accident. Only 2% are accidents. And over 1 million workers self-report suffering from a work-related illness every year, and several 100,000 workers are injured at work every year. So to try and combat this, the HSE recommend a 4-point agenda for embedding the essential health and safety principles within an organisation. And it's plan, do, check, act. So fairly straightforward. So when we plan, directors need to set the direction for effective health and safety management. Board members need to establish a health and safety policy that is more than just a document. It should be an integral part of the organisation's culture and should reflect its values and performance standards. And all directors should take the lead in ensuring the communication of health and safety duties and the benefits throughout the organisation. Executive directors must develop policies to avoid health and safety problems and should respond quickly where difficulties arise or new risks are introduced. And non-execs must make sure that the health and safety is properly addressed. And to agree a policy, the directors need to ensure that they are aware of the significant risks faced by their organisation. The policy should set out the board's own role and that of individual board members in leading the health and safety of its organisation. It should require the board to own and understand the key issues involved and decide best how to communicate, promote and champion health and safety within their organisation. So the health and safety policy should remain a living document and it should evolve over time. For instance, when there is a major organisational change, such as a restructuring or a significant acquisition. And health and safety should appear regularly on the agenda for board meetings, and the chief executive can give the clearest visibility of leadership, but some boards find it useful to name a health and safety champion. And the presence on the board of a health and safety director can be a strong signal that the issue is being taken seriously and that strategic importance is understood. So we've had a look at plan. Now we need to have a look at the doing of it. And delivery depends on an effective management system to ensure, so far as is reasonably practicable, the health and safety of employees, customers and members of the public. An organisation should aim to protect people by introducing management systems and practices that ensure risks are dealt with sensibly, responsibly, and more importantly, proportionately. We don't want to be fiddling while Rome burns. And to take responsibility and ownership of health and safety issues, the directors must ensure that the health and safety arrangements are adequately resourced. They obtain competent health and safety advice, again, hopefully from us. Risk assessments are carried out. It's a requirement. Regulation 3 of the Management of Health and Safety at Work Regulations 1999. And employees are involved in the decisions that affect their health and safety. Worker engagement is seen as the way forward now, where we can really make some inroads into reducing the incidence of accident and injury. Directors should consider the health and safety implications of introducing any new process, new working practices, or new personnel even, and dedicating adequate resource to the task and seeking advice where necessary. Boardroom decisions must be made in the context of the organisation's health and safety policy, and it's important to design in health and safety when implementing change. It should always be one of the top agenda items. And leadership is more effective if visible directors can reinforce the health and safety policy by being seen on the shop floor, out on site, following safety measures themselves and addressing any breaches immediately. Consider health and safety when you're deciding senior management appointments. And having procurement standards for goods, equipment and services can help prevent the introduction of expensive health and safety hazards. So we're looking at better buying, quieter, less noisy, less machines of less vibration magnitude, that kind of thing, to reduce the health and safety risk at the procurement point. And the health and safety arrangements of partners, key suppliers and contractors should also be assessed, and their performance could adversely affect yours. So setting up a separate risk management or health and safety committee as a subset to the board, chaired by a senior executive, can make sure that the key issues are addressed and guard against time and effort being wasted on trivial risks and unnecessary bureaucracy. We have to remember the age-old saying, so far as is reasonably practicable, and proportionality, to say we don't want to be messing around with trivial when there are far more important things to be dealt with. And providing health and safety training to some or all of the board can promote understanding and knowledge of the key issues in your organisation. Again, supporting worker involvement in health and safety can improve, and it's been proved to improve participation and help prove your commitment to your workforce. So we've done plan, do. The next thing is to check. How are we going to do that? Monitoring and reporting are vital parts of health and safety culture. Management systems must allow the board to receive both specific, for instance, incident-led, when something happens, and routine reports on the performance of the health and safety policy. A lot of the day-to-day health and safety information need only be reported at the time of a formal review. It's the same old things. If things are going well, we don't need to dwell on it. Directors should ensure that appropriate weight is given to reporting both preventative information, such as progress of training and maintenance programs, and incident data, such as accident and sickness and absence rates, periodic audits for the effectiveness of management structures, and risk controls for the health and safety are carried out. The impact of changes such as the introduction of new procedures, work processes or products, or any major health and safety failure should be reported as soon as possible to the board, and there should be procedures to implement new and changed legal requirements and to consider other external developments and events as they happen. Effective monitoring of sickness, absence and workplace health can alert the board to underlying problems that could seriously damage performance or result in accidents and long-term illness. And the collection of workplace health and safety data can allow the board to benchmark the organisation's performance against others in its sector. We can carry out appraisals of our senior management, and this can include an assessment of their contribution to the health and safety performance of the company. Boards can receive regular reports on the health and safety performance and actions of the contractors they may engage. And some organisations have found they win greater support for health and safety by involving workers in this monitoring process. So, plan, do, check. Now we're down to number 4, act. A formal board review of health and safety performance is essential. It allows the board to establish whether essential health and safety principles, strong active leadership, worker involvement, assessment and review have been embedded in the organisation. It also tells you whether your system is effective in managing risk and protecting people, because when it comes down to it, that's what this is all for. Health and safety performance should be reviewed at least once a year, and the review process should examine whether the health and safety policy reflects the organisation's current priorities, plans and targets, and also examine whether risk management and other health and safety systems have been effectively reported to the board. Report on health and safety shortcomings and the effect of all relevant board and management decisions. Should decide on actions to address any weaknesses and a system to monitor their implementation, and consider immediate reviews in the light of major shortcomings or events. Performance on health and safety and well-being is increasingly being recorded in an organisation's annual reports to investors and stakeholders, and is now being actively asked for. And board members can make extra shop floor or down on the workplace visits to gather information for the formal review. A good health and safety performance should be celebrated at central and local level. Larger public and private sector organisations need to have formal procedures for auditing and reporting health and safety performance. The board should ensure that any audit is perceived as a positive management and boardroom tool. It should have unrestricted access to both external and internal auditors, keeping their cost effectiveness, independence and objectivity under review. So there we have it. Plan, do, act, check. Review performance, learn the lessons, check your policy, planning, risk profiling, same as assessment really. Your organisation, implement those plans, measure the performance, and obviously investigate accidents, incidents and all near misses. So this was a brief look at directors' responsibilities, and I hope you found it of some use to you. We do run a half-day course on directors' responsibilities, which goes into it a little bit deeper, but this was just a quick overview. And as I say, the Building Safety Group are trying to add value to our membership services by providing these webinars. And if there's any subject that you would feel that would be of interest to you on a future webinar, please let us know. But for now, thank you very much for your time, and thanks for listening.